Good day to our students, faculty, and other library users. Mm, Another service that the University of Baguio can offer is this online information and referral services. Since visiting other libraries is not feasible, so we do it online. Luckily, the National Library of the Philippines opened their or shared their e-resources to their outside users. So as long as we have to follow the guidelines and instructions posted in their portal, we can use their resources. These are these are the databases that the NLP share to us, but I am not in the position to discuss the different content of the databases, but I will share my experience on how to use these databases, and it will help us all uh, students, faculty, and researchers to our research. The first database is this Ebscohost. The University of Baguio Library subscribed to the Ebscohost, and there is a separate video instruction on how to use. So please check our FB page and Google site. Sir Ronnie prepared a video on how to use and maximize the resources, so please check our FB and our Google site. So the next database that the NLP offered is the Gale eBooks collection. The collections of the Gale eBooks are arranged according to different subjects. So as seen in this slide, subjects are or books are arranged according to arts, biography, business, education, environment, general reference, and other subject categories determined by the Gale ebooks. Moreover, on the databases, another is the IG library. IG library is a collection of different databases, and most of it is the database published by the college and university presses and publisher. So if you want to check the different databases provide or published by the colleges and universities, I recommend to check the IG library. Another e-resources that available in the LP portal is the digital library solution. But before opening the database, you have to register and acquire a username and password. This username and password is given individually. So once you have a username and password, do not share your password and username. Only share the information and let your classmates and friends to register in the portal so that they can also access the different databases. So going back to the digital library solutions, collections are categorized according to ebooks, e-journals, and e-thesis, and subcategorized according to different subjects. So as you open the database, as you go along, you can learn, and you can browse, and you can check the different collections offered by the database. So continually, another database that the NLP opened for the outside users is this Britannica Library. Under the Britannica Library, the collections are categorized according to age level of the users. So if the users is under elementary level, they may use the kids collection. If they are high school or senior high school, they use the teens category, and of course the adult. If you're going to open the adult, database or the link, collections sample of collection under adults are categories according to articles, images and videos, biographies, and other as of course prescribed by the Britannica Library database. To continue, another database is this Wiley Online Library. Like the digital library solution, the NLP will provide unique username and password to access the database. And this database contains of 1,600 journals, 250 reference work, and of course 22,000 online books. Another database that helpful in our research and in our academics is this press reader. It contains the digital newspaper and magazines around the world. So the daily newspaper of the Philippines is also available in the press reader. An example of it is this Star, the Tempo, and other. Another database that is helpful to us is this Technoaklatan. It contains Filipiniana titles, and these titles may be accessed in full and some are limited. Okay. Another database is this Emerald Insight. Under Emerald Insight, of course, they will be given us again username and password to access the collection. And as of now, Emerald Insight has 2,500 ebooks and 300 journals. And the collections are categorized according to books, journals, case studies, expert briefings, open access, and others. Another database is this My Legal Quiz. This is good for our lawyers, for our students under the School of Law. And it is, the collections are categorized according to, and maybe search according to reference, keywords, forms. And under the database, you can create your own folder. And a sample of folder created in the database is the constitutional law cases, persons and family relations, and statutory construction. So most of the collections are for lawyers and students under the College of Law. Another helpful database found in the NLP portal is this Proquest Database. It contains of scholarly journals, books, videos and audios, dissertation and thesis, newspapers, magazines, blogs, and conference papers. So if you want to check, yes, you have to go through with the guidelines under NLP portal and then access the database. Another database is this DigReuter. It is composed, or the collections are composed of 11,000 books and journal articles. And these collections are categorized according to different subjects. Samples of subjects are humanities, sciences, technology, medicine, social sciences, and others. Moreover, on the databases is this Philippine e-journals. The Philippine e-journals, based on the title, is composed of the different journals, and the titles are arranged according to the title of the journals, and it is arranged alphabetically. And The last but not the least is this EG Global. It is publisher of Timely, and of course same with other databases, you have to get your password or request username and password. And this database contains of ebooks collection, e-journal, and other e-collection. So that is the collections that are so these are the different databases offered by the National Library. So how are we going to access the different databases? This is the link that we can register. And this was posted in our FB page last September 4. It was posted by our FB admin, Ma'am Elsa, and you have to click the URL and follow the guidelines or instruction under the portal. So first you have to, after clicking after opening the register, it says here that your connection is not private, so you have to proceed. And then there is a remarks. It says that it is unsafe, but you have to click. It is safe since it will, the link will open the portal of the National Library of the Philippines. So after clicking, this will appear on your desktop or on your laptop. So you have to complete the information needed. It is important to, and after completing the information, it is important to accept the terms and condition by putting check mark on the square provided and then click the proceed. After that, yes, you have already your username and password. As I have said, after registering in the portal, they will give you a unique ID and username password. So I will not share my username and my password because upon registering, the NLP will give you your username and password. So continue here. That will be the interface of the NLP portal. So every time you click the different databases, you have to register individually in the different portal, individually in the different database. So if you want to use the Gale ebooks, you have to register. And then if you want to use the press reader, you have to register it again. And then if you want to use the Proquest, you have to register it again because they will give you individual username and password. Okay, continue. We have the guidelines. This is the guidelines given by the National Library of the Philippines, and we have to abide for it. So under the access and use, let me read this. Licensed electronic resources made available by the NLP, National Library of the Philippines, through the Reference Division and Filipiniana Division are databases of online journals, ebooks, audio, books, and other resources. E-resources are for the personal, clinical, research, scholarly, or instructional activities of the authorized users. So if the NLP will give you The username and password you will use for personal or clinical or research databases. Next is most of the NLP resources are governed by license agreements that limit the use of e-resources. And lastly, the misuse and violation or prohibited uses may result in loss of access to these e-resources for the entire NLP, including the e-resources shared to the selected public libraries affiliated with NLP. So we have to abide so that they will continue share the e-resources. So under the terms of use, they are okay here. These are generally permitted use. So you can use, you can download in substantial amount. Ibig sabihin, not the entire journals or ebooks, only a portion of the e-resources. Next is temporary storing reasonable portion of articles, chapters, and research results unless otherwise for their own education and research needs. They can also permit us by sharing reasonable portion with the other of the same interest or information. You can share the information, only a portion, not the entire. And of course, you may use the database for personal and research needs. Again, na they are prohibiting us or they are instructing us not to share the remote access and password because they will give us individual. And of course, they will on the second column under terms of use, we found that the general prohibited uses. So let me read. Systematic of substantial printing, copying, or downloading. So we cannot download and copy the entire e-journal or e-book. Second, modifying, altering, or creating derivatives such as own database or materials. So do not, upon registering or access of the database, you have to download and then create your own database. It is not allowed. It is prohibited under the term of use. Second is sharing proprietary or client software connected to information resources. Fourth, mass reproduction and distribution. Fifth, sharing password, access code, token accounts, remote access, and giving access to non-LP registered individual. And lastly, posting actual content or articles in a publicly accessible website or public listservs. So that's these that are guidelines under terms of use of the database. And lastly, other important pronouncement under NLP portal is that always acknowledge the source of any published or unpublished document while the user data found on e-resources or use of small amounts of attributed codes in own words. So you have to acknowledge. Next is sharing with non-LP users is not permitted. So you have to share the information but let your friend or classmate register in the portal. Next is request for use of e-resources must indicate the specific subject concern and purpose to easily address the information. And then each user is responsible for ensuring that she or he uses these products solely for non-commercial, educational, scholarly, or research use. Next, institutional access is not provided. And lastly, NLP adheres to the copyright restrictions and exemptions. And that's the end of my sharing. And I hope you learn and I hope you can access to the database of the National Library.